I was going to do today's video while I was out on my walk because there's something about being out on the walk that I wanted to point out. But it's actually blizzarding outside, so snow and wind and all that sort of stuff. And I figured that the challenges of holding an iPhone and videoing whilst taking my puppy for a walk could be a bit too much. So let me instead tell you a little bit from the comfort and sort of warmth of my therapy room. We talked yesterday about how we spend so much of our day in our trance and how that tends to drive us to react. And I was thinking about when I walk my puppy. His name's Gibson. He's a black Labrador and he's just about 5 months old now. And it's really interesting when you go for a walk down the path. I have a disused railway path that I walk down. And everything's fine. He's bouncing in and out and playing King of the Castle. Do your dogs play King of the Castle? I don't know whether it's a dog thing or whether it's a my puppy thing. Anyway, goes up the banks and does all sorts of stuff like that. And then every now and again, a pheasant will suddenly fly out. And it scares the heck out of him. And his hackles go up and he tenses up. And then he runs to me and does this kind of comedic Scooby-Doo, "Mummy, help me!" kind of leap into my arms and tries to get me to cuddle him. Problem is, he's a 5-month-old black Labrador, and leaping into my arms doesn't really work very well because he's quite big. Anyway, but that's his instinctive response. And all animals have instinctive responses, things that they do to keep themselves safe when under threat. And it's not a reasoned, thought out process, it's just react. His reaction just happens to be to try and leap into my arms and get a cuddle and feel better. And it's interesting because those reactions come from way, way back in the caveman days when everybody was still evolving. We learnt those reactions, the fight, flight, freeze that we talked about yesterday with the spider thing. And people are the same. We have the same fight, flight, freeze instant reaction that is also from the caveman days. Our reactions and our rules for surviving come from the caveman days in the same way as it does with Gibson, the puppy. But there's other things in Gibson's life where the rules are not quite so clear. And for those things, he has to learn from the people around him, from his mum when he was a little tiny, cute, fluffy, black puppy, and also from the way me and my family react when something happens. So take, for example, cars. An animal doesn't naturally know how to react to cars, and they need to be taught the best way to react. Now, as it happens with Gibson, he loves everything. I mean, really everything. He loves people, he loves animals, he loves his cushion, maybe a little too much, but anyway, he loves everything. So cars, he loves cars, and when he sees a car, he wants to run after it, say hello to it, tell it how much he loves it, which, as you can imagine, is not entirely practical. And that's a learned behaviour. And as a puppy, he learns from me that no, you shouldn't run to cars. He learns the word no. He learns that when I say no, he shouldn't do something. And so that's encoded so that when he's an adult and he's on his own and doesn't have me to tell him what's right and wrong, he already knows what is right and what is wrong. Funnily enough, we're just the same. Except for us, it's a little bit more complicated because most of our relationships and our interactions are based on a thing that there is no clear rule for. There's so many different situations. There's emotional stuff, there's situational stuff, and it's kind of hard to cover all of those different situations with the if something is going to hurt you, run away kind of response. In the same way as cars don't have a clear rule set unless we learn them, we also, as we grow up through our childhood, carry with us innate lessons from the caveman days about things that the way we should respond to a threat. So the fight, flight, freeze response is what you do when you're under threat. But the things that actually are a threat to us are things that we learn from those around us that look after us through childhood. And that's where the caveman rules come in. The 3 caveman rules of survival all come from primitive rules about how you survive applied to lessons that you learn and go into a rule book throughout your childhood. So like Gibson has a very simple rule book. Yes, you can sit on the sofa. No, you can't jump into my arms in Scooby-Doo fashion. No, you shouldn't try and steal food off the plate while we're eating. He learns those things from us, and we're learning all those things when we're kids as well. So, rather than waffle on too long in today's post, I will leave it there. And tomorrow and over the next few days, I'll start digging into each of the 3 rules and try and help you understand a wee bit better about how they fit into our behaviours once we become adults. Okay, thank you.